Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Welcome back, everyone, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Guys, Scientology done messed up this time. I don't know who it is that I have to assume without permission published a response, pretty much an open letter to the protesters, the anti-Scientology protesters that were in Chicago this past weekend. And they published this thing of all places on Reddit, on the R Scientology Reddit page. Thank you to everyone that sent me this today. I haven't been able to catch up on all my emails, but I did see this. And I'm just going to read it to you. In my opinion, this post is from a real Scientologist. I don't think this is trolling. I don't think this is someone like using Chat GPT or something like that. I think this is actually legitimate. So I just wanted to share it with you because I think it's pretty incredible. All right. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Now, I guess the handle here is Mr. 111. I'll leave it up to other people to maybe find posts that this person has made or comments and figure out what else they're into. I tried doing that a little bit. It looks like they're into aliens and the occult, which, you know, kind of makes sense for a Scientologist. They probably don't want you being too active on those boards, but it makes sense. Okay, the post says, to the rabid protesters at the Chicago Ideal Org opening, to all the protesters who attempted to ruin the grand opening of the Ideal Org in Chicago today, I just wanted to let you know that your efforts were not only in vain, but they were also extremely and laughably counterproductive. Your pitiful attempts at suppressing freedom of religion actually helped bring everyone even closer together. Parishioners listened to the speakers more intently and were more eager to clap and make noise at every opportunity to help drown out the distant sound of your background drivel. I could see a deeper cooperation develop between speaker and spoken to. And so I guess thanks for being the suppression of the coiled spring, which allows the leaper on the springboard to propel upwards to even greater heights. All right, I'm starting to rethink that Chat GPT thing. I don't know that someone actually wrote this. Your ignorance only fortifies our desire to clear the planet of whatever aberration causes people to think that being a screaming, raving lunatic is somehow a sane choice. I left the event with a protester trying to pull the racist card. I guess they must not know how diverse Chicago's org is, or else they'd never attempt such a useless, impotent argument. Seriously, any attempt to paint Scientology as racist ends up enormously backfiring the second you take a look at the mix of people inside. Maybe some orgs in some areas are predominantly white, but certainly not Chicago's. And so to pull the race card here is to shoot yourself in the foot. That sort of bigoted ignorance just solidifies the belief that you truly don't know anything about what you're talking about at all whatsoever. Your shouted words were truly faint and could barely be made out, but it sounded like you were ironically trying to shout cult, while chairman of the board, COB, that's what they call David Miscavige, was honoring the wide variety of people that we have all seen pour years of blood, sweat, and tears into making this building happen. He wasn't taking credit like a cult leader would, but instead, most of his time was spent shining the spotlight on everyone who helped. If a cult leader tries to grab all the attention and credit for themselves, then chairman of the board is doing a terrible job at that, since most of his appearances are to commend others and to honor their actions. How many awards has he given out to others, but never any to himself? Oopsie. I would have to point out to the poster that every award Miscavige has ever received is an award he has given to himself since about 1986. Your false accusations of being a monolithic cult only helped appreciate the non-monolithic nature of the cooperation of the myriad of local leaders that made today possible. You all tried to ruin something that a lot of good people have poured a lot of effort and energy into, but you ended up doing the opposite by bringing us closer together while simultaneously demonstrating how misinformed and unreliable you all are. Your abusive rhetoric is only making us stronger. Screaming your lungs out only proves how insane you are. Spreading false accusations only helps prove how untruthful and unreliable and dishonest you are. Trying to tell me that they're racist is worthless when my auditor is black, my group processing instructor is black, and 2 of my course supervisors are black. Pulling the race card in Chicago only makes you look like a fool and a bigot yourself. Grow up. By the way, if anyone knows where I can find it, I want to see the clip of when the phone was aimed directly at me while the rabid protester attempted to pull the race card without letting me speak. I could find the interaction on other streams, but not the one from the short black lady protester confronting me herself. Can anyone point me to that clip? I want it for archival and posterity purposes because it's utterly hilarious, especially the quote, "He still has a twinkle in his eye," unquote, comment afterwards. LOL. I think it's amazing that this thing has basically 200 comments and is at a neutral 0 rating. That seems incredibly unlikely, or maybe it's just not showing me what the rating is, I guess. Okay, so I think that's incredible. Scientology is one of the whitest organizations on the face of the earth, behind only the KKK and maybe the Mormon Church. I don't mean to use those 2 words in the same sentence for any other reason other than whiteness. Now, in Chicago, one thing that they have there that's a little interesting that might give them a few extra black members is Louis Farrakhan's Nation of Islam has formed a partnership with the Church of Scientology. And Louis Farrakhan has encouraged his members to all read Dianetics, become Dianetics auditors, and many of them have gone on to do full-blown Scientology. I won't bother differentiating right now between Dianetics and Scientology, but they're the same thing these days, but for marketing purposes and historically speaking, they are sometimes treated as different things. Dianetics, Scientology likes to call a science of the mind, whereas they would call Scientology a religious philosophy. And so I mentioned that because the Nation of Islam is particularly present in Chicago, and I'm told a pretty good number of the staff members of the Scientology organization in Chicago and in Washington, D.C. are in fact members of Louis Farrakhan's Nation of Islam. I spent most of my Scientology years in Philadelphia, downtown Philadelphia, where African Americans are the majority. And we had in the city population, and we had an average of 0 black Scientologists on staff. And as far as Scientologists just taking courses, I would say in the whole, 10 years that I was there, I can remember 2. One of her name was Trina, and the other guy, I can't remember. 3, Jeff Baird, Trina, and oh my God, that other guy, I can't remember his name. 3 black Scientologists in 10 years in downtown Philly. So yeah, by the way, so the post here asks for the channel, the video of the young, small black woman. It didn't say, I think it just said black woman, but I will tell you, the post was referring to the Scientology. Scientology is a, well, to me, looks young and a small stature black woman. And if you guys want to see some of her protesting videos in Chicago, you can look up the channel right here, Scientology. Now, her videos are normally shooting away from her, so you don't really get to see her. So I did find some of the footage from Dodge Landisman, independent journalist who was in Chicago this weekend. You can see his channel here, Dodge Landisman. He has some footage here, so you can see, I believe Scientology's name is Melissa, if I'm not mistaken. And here you can see Melissa.
So yeah. Well, for my audience, while we're walking to find you a bathroom, what happened? They wouldn't let you. Yeah, they wouldn't let you use the bathroom.
So to begin? Do you want to start from when Sean said he was going to call the cops on me when I walked down this alley or what?
Sure. When did that happen?
That happened about maybe like 30 minutes ago. I
Okay.
walked down this alley right here. And Sean said that I was
Okay, good. And I was just showing that so you would see what they were talking about. Now, as far as the other protesters in Chicago, I want to share this with you guys now. On the YouTube channel Fluffer Squirrel UK, there is a community post here that has a pretty comprehensive list of streamer protesters by city. And in Chicago, you can see here, we have Trashy V12 BMW. We have Shannon, that's a Chicago Scientology audit at Shannon.120. We have Windy City Thetan Watch, Nance Drew, Corn Freak 4874, Selfless Self, Groovy Witch, Free Xenu Project was there, Scientology, of course, Stephanie Slaughters, Scientology Hearings, and Cat Ocean. Good Lord, folks, that's a lot of streamers. And yeah, okay. I mean, what do you guys think of that post? What do you guys think? By the way, what was amazing is earlier today, I was looking over the various streams and footage of the Scientologists who were in attendance. There were Scientologists there from all over the country, both coasts. And there was only about 400 people in attendance. Now, you would think Chicago's one of the biggest cities in the United States. You would think Scientology would want you to believe that they could round up 400 Scientologists just from the greater Chicago area. No, sir. I bet you they couldn't round up 150. And they managed to bus in an extra 250 just to fill the seats and fill in the space so that they didn't have to do so much Photoshop work. Usually when they release photos of their events, they Photoshop it in to make it look like there's a lot more Scientologists there. Guys, Scientology will tell you that there's millions. Sometimes they will slip and say tens of millions of members worldwide. There's less than 30,000 members. The number could even be closer to 20,000 members. There's only about 150 Scientology organizations in the entire world. And anyone who works in those organizations now or who has ever worked in those organizations will tell you there is in almost no case could you scrounge up 200 Scientologists in a state, in an entire state. When I worked in the Philadelphia org, we were the only Scientology organization in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, 3 entire states. We couldn't get 100 people. We couldn't get 100 people to come to anything. That includes staff and public. So anyway, I just like to never neglect an opportunity to mention how small Scientology really is. Okay, let's see. All right, we'll do some comments and then we'll wrap this one up. Cascade says, is the LA Fire Department also in bed with the LAPD and Scientology? Get well. Scientology has its tentacles pretty deeply enmeshed into the LA County establishment. So I don't have any specific information about the LA Fire Department. But, you know, one of the things Scientology uses this tax-exempt money on is lobbyists. And lobbyists are really good at taking money from evil organizations to grease the wheels or rub some elbows and make things go in a positive direction for their clients. So oftentimes this is what will happen. Even in Clearwater, Florida, where I live, the political establishment here has been hopelessly bought off by Scientology because of Scientology's lobbying dollars that buy people like Mary Repper and Ed Armstrong and Joe Burdett and Brian Onks Jr. And these are all people who will tell you in private that they kind of hate Scientology. They don't like anything about it. But it's not their job to like Scientology. It's their job to do Scientology's dirty work. And so that's what they do. So, Scientology literally gives the LAPD money every single year. They do a fundraiser at the Celebrity Center and raise money. And the detectives and the officers come up and they sing songs and they play guitars and they look like fools. And I don't know. I haven't seen any LA firefighters up there on stage at the Celebrity Center, but maybe I wouldn't rule it out. Dave Owens says, and yet they still noticed the protesters. Yes, exactly. Yes, the poster, the original poster, went through a lot of trouble to say how quiet and faint and distant the protesters were. One might think they were so quiet, faint, and distant, you could easily confuse them with the chirping of tiny birds. And yet somehow the original poster knew that they were, in fact, protesters. Thank you for that, Dave Owens. Free Xenu Project of Farsec, who was in Chicago. We were not being ironic. We were being deliberately screaming cult. Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's funny. I'm not racist. My auditor is black. Indeed. You know, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to. I have never understood when someone is called a racist and then the person goes, I'm not racist. I have black friends. And then someone goes like, and then they mock the answer like, wouldn't a racist not have black friends? I don't quite get it. Anyway, I know you're making a joke, but I just said it. If you want to explain to me in the comments, what is the problem when someone says racist? I have like, many of my friends are black. I'm not racist. Why is that not a legit thing to say? I've never understood it. Maybe someone can explain it to me, guys. After all, I grew up in a cult. What do I know? And our cult didn't have a lot of black people. Okay. Free Xenu Project. By the way, I've uploaded 3 shorts on my channel. You may want to show them. Feel free. Well, I have to do a little searching and pull up another tab and find your channel and everything. But anyone who's watching right now, if you want to go to Free Xenu Project and look at his shorts, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see. There's a lot of starred ones here, and I want to see them before I bring them up. Oh, Bad Phaeton. I know exactly who wrote that then. I mean, not their name, but it was on the Scientology's live. Oh, because he or she, I can't tell if it's a he or she that wrote this post. That's right, because you would have seen them. Oh my God. Someone please send me the link and the timestamp. And I will take a screen capture and put it in my community tab and see if we can identify the person. We will be able to identify the person. Email me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com. Please, link and timestamp. Bingo. Ann Bell. Don't they call anyone who's not white a degraded being? No, in Scientology, a degraded being, you can be a DB. It's not race related. In the Scientology dictionary, if you look up degraded being, the photo or the sketch that it has there is like a homeless person. So no. The term degraded being isn't a racial thing. But thank you very much. Ani says that post is no longer in the subreddit. I beg to differ. I literally just pulled it up from the subreddit. This is not a screenshot that I was sharing with you guys. This is our Scientology subreddit. So if they took it down in the last 18 minutes. And maybe they did that because I'm doing a video about it. I have no idea, but that would be amazing. Anyway. All right, let's see. So many comments. Annette, Jeanette. What the heck just happened? Was I not did I not subscribe? Oh no. On my desktop, I'm logged in. No, wait. Am I not subscribed? All right, I'll subscribe right now. I could have sworn I was. All right, you ready, guys? I want everyone to see it for the record, okay? You ready? Ba-boom. That's what you guys should all go do. Go over to Scientology and hit that subscribe button. You eagle-eyed viewers. Free Xenu Project. There were a ton of Florida plates leaving. You know who else I saw there? Dan O'Connor. The Dan O'Connor of Relatable Reese's stories. He's lethal with a fax machine. He can hit a bullseye at 50 yards. Annette Jeanette. I didn't see any Nation of Islam either during the event. Oh, that's interesting. You usually can tell. They're usually dressed a particular way. Also, they would have been among the very few black people actually at the event. Okay, let's see. Call Cali Girl. How many Sea Org members are there at the Blue Building? If I were to be unbelievably generous, I would say 100. This is very, very generous. Okay. 150 at Asho, 100, that's the ugly lion in the front, 150 at LA Org, that's the one right on Sunset Boulevard. And let's just say 150 at the Advanced Org, that's the one all the way on the south end. And let's just say 100 at the CLO, that's the management office about halfway down. So what's that? 300, 450, 550. And guys, it's probably closer to 400. And when you say the Blue Building, I'm talking about all of L. Ron Hubbard Way. First of all of the buildings are blue. And 3 of those buildings or 4 of those buildings are work buildings. And then the big V-shaped building called Main Building, that's just where they sleep and where they eat. So that's my very, very rough and very generous estimate. Thank you for that. Freedom from Religion says, the Honolulu Police Department actually helped me. They sent a car to make sure no funny business happened. Wow. I didn't know there was a channel protesting in Honolulu. Freedom from Religion, I think I remember you commenting before. I didn't know you'd actually started. I know I'm getting to a point where it's actually hard for me to even read all my emails, but please shoot me a link to one of your videos. I'd like to see it. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, Danny is also one of the protesters who was in Chicago. You can find his channel at live_Danny. 1,500 views and only 490 likes. Y'all better hit that like button. Well, guys, we actually got about 2,000 people watching right now. If you're still watching right now, do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. It seems to help with notifications. Okay, let's see. Freezy New Project is back for some more. I'm making a short soon where Sergeant, we lovingly called Agent Smith, told us we had to stop. He could hear us in the next block. Not quite so faint and distant after all. You guys were doing a great job making your voices heard. Pause for Andrea says, did you notice the hideous Cybertruck at the Chicago event? I think it had a Florida plate and a rent-a-truck sign or plate on the back. A Scientology whale, perhaps. I did not notice a Cybertruck. But I didn't... most of the footage that I watched was from the very far away. When they were up, I think they were either in a parking structure or on the patio of some apartment buildings. I didn't see a ton of footage very close up or showing any cars at all, actually. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Freezy New Project again. Grab my link and timestamp of us getting told we were too loud. Okay. Oh, wait, here we go. Comment. Oh, okay, let me see if I can. It doesn't let me copy and paste that Freezy New Project. It doesn't let me copy and paste. Yeah, I can't copy and paste from StreamYard. All right, guys. That's oh, Danny changed his handle on his channel to at Danny's Impact. Okay, so you can find Danny's channel on at Danny's Impact. All right, guys. Well, it's probably time for me to get some rest. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right